Onions might make your breath stinky, but they make everything they grow near taste better. Yes, I'm gonna have the best tasting garden ever this year. Let's plant more onions. Hey folks, this is Casey and I am One Marigold, and we're hanging out in the onion patch again today. Partly because I want to check in on all the seedlings to see how they're doing, and also because I really need to get a handle on the weeds that are in there. Now this is a reclaimed patch, and so there was grass here before, but at one point in the history of this property before me, a grower did use this exact same spot because I did find a whole bunch of plastic cover under the layer of grass that I pulled up to make this bed. So it's good. It's just natural for a lot of weeds to come up for the first couple of years, and hopefully over time we'll just sort of get a hold on it. Anyway, my goal is, we have a nice cool day out today. My goal is to get all the weeds up and get the bed mulched. This is what I use for mulch. I am not showing this to you because I am sponsored by them, not at all. Back in Wisconsin, I had Stein's Gardens and Gifts for my nursery. I know my Midwesterners love Stein's. And they always used to sell these 2 cubic foot blocks of clean straw, or easy straw as this is called. And this is basically processed and chopped down straw so that it doesn't contain any like seed heads. And it also includes tack, which helps to keep the straw together and keep it like from blowing away. So the tack in the straw will kind of absorb the moisture when you water, and that sort of keeps it settled down. I have found this to just be an amazing mulch. I loved using it in the city. When I came out here, I couldn't find this stuff anywhere, and I have no idea why. I don't know if that's just like local preferences or something, but I just could not find it anywhere. So I used the straw that I had here in my barn because, hey, I'm on a budget. And while the straw worked and did help retain some moisture, it did also just still let a lot of weeds through. This year, I was on a mission to get myself some clean straw, no matter what I had to do to find it. And it is now more available this spring than I've ever seen it before. But most of the stores are selling 1 cubic foot bags for like 18 to 20 bucks. No freaking way. So lots of digging, lots of shopping around online. Managed to find one retailer that was carrying the 2 cubic foot blocks for a very reasonable price. I think these were like $17.99 each. And I took everything they had. I took all 3 that they had. I could have driven an hour or more to Buffalo. Some of the larger Walmarts were carrying big bricks like this. I just honestly didn't want to drive that far. So we're going to pull weeds. We're going to throw this stuff down and see how it looks. Oh, and the dogs are getting dirty. There you go. Here's a couple of onion facts for you nerds out there. Onions are the 4th most consumed vegetable behind potatoes, tomatoes, and sweet corn, and represent the 3rd largest fresh vegetable industry in the U.S. I honestly didn't realize that onions were that big, but I suppose it makes sense because we cook with it and all that good stuff. In fact, 90% of onions are grown in the country in which they're consumed. Most onions are grown where they are consumed. Not so much exporting, not so much importing, just grown where they are consumed. We're making great progress. 1 brick covered about 2/3 of my bed, which is great. And of course I found a wiener growing in among the onions, but honestly, I usually let those grow. Just let them go. Woohoo! Look how good she looks! Yahoo! This feels amazing to get done. Amazing! Look at how good those onion starts are doing. They are doing so great. Woo! So, also, I lost my glasses. So if you see them around here, let a girl know. Okay, I am so happy to have gotten this done. The onion starts are doing great, both the sets and the seedlings. Super happy about it. The mulch is going to help keep back the weeds. Obviously, no mulch does a perfect job, but I think the Easy Straw does a pretty great job. So we shall see together. Next up in the allium family, let me show you how I planted my leeks. The leek seedlings got started a little bit later because the seeds that I used apparently were just a little bit too old. So I did have to restart the seed, which was no problem because as soon as I bought fresh ones, they germinated like magic. Onion seedlings and leek seedlings look almost exactly the same when they're growing in the pot, but there's a big difference in how you plant them. The part of the leek that you actually eat is the part that stays deep down in the ground. So when we're planting the leek seedlings, we're going to plant them way down deep in the ground. You're going to see me stick my whole hand up to my wrist into the soil and then lay the seedling in there next to it to make sure that that root got down as far as I could get it to go. Whereas the onion seedlings are planted so that the bulb rests right on top of the soil. The containers are just repurposed things that I found here on the farm that were deep enough to hold the leeks themselves. Overall, I think I should get about 16 leeks out of this batch, which is plenty enough for me. Let me show you what I'm going to do with the rest. I have decided that since the onion starts are obviously doing amazing, they're doing great all by themselves, I am convinced that I do not need the rest of my sets to replace the seedlings because they're amazing. So instead, I'm here in potato land. Got a couple of weeks before I would start thinking about planting potatoes, so we're gonna plant some of those sets around the outside edge. Let me show you one thing I did first. Okay, so in those two bins are the leeks that I planted, but let's be real, I had like, I don't know, a million seedlings, and I don't need a million leeks. And then I was like, what do I do with the rest of the starts? Because then you feel bad, right? You started the seed. You feel like you should give it some accomplishment. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the just random chaos experiment here that I tried. I was absolutely too lazy to like dig deep holes in the ground to plant more leeks. So I just didn't. I like really super crudely carved out a little trench, and then I just chucked the leeks in there. Just chucked them in. Just chucked them in. Just chucked them in. You know what? They're honestly not doing too bad, but I just want to see what happens. Like maybe they won't actually like grow up big and tall, but maybe they kind of will. Maybe some will work out, maybe some won't. I don't know. I don't care. We just dumped them. We're going to see what happens. For the sets, I'm going to go around the outside edges and take my hoe and just kind of pull back the foliage, and then we'll start popping them in every 6 inches or so. Woohoo! As I'm going around potato land and you're going to watch me planting sets, pulling weeds, watering, all that good stuff, my body allows me to just stand and bend over to do the planting and the pulling and the weeding, the whatever, right? Not everybody's body allows them to do this way. So this is a great time to remind you that onions can grow wherever. They don't have to be in the ground. They can absolutely be in a pot, and they can just be in a super shallow pot that you keep on your windowsill or that you keep on your patio or by your driveway, whatever, because onion roots just don't go down that deep. So you don't have to do what I'm doing. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't do it that way. It's all good. It's also a great time to remind you that if you do not grow your own food, if you do not grow your onions and you get them from a grocery store, someone, probably an immigrant, hand sowed every single onion slip that you eat and then hand harvest those onions that you eat. Someone who probably gets paid about $15 an hour, works 17 hours a day for unfair pay, horrible working conditions, often very less than desirable living conditions, someone who is raising a family, someone who is putting their kids in school, someone is stooping over every single day for hours and hours and hours on end to deliver that food to you so you can buy it in the store and take it home with you. And it was never right for the U.S. to rely so heavily on immigrant labor, and it's not right for us to demonize them now. And so I really want you to think about that as all of the administration's deportation plans are underway and we see the cruelty that falls out from it. Okay, so I didn't nearly get to fit in as many around potato land as I thought. So now we're just going to put sets everywhere, just everywhere. So we're starting around the garlic, going to interplant them with the marigolds. And then, of course, I remembered that I cut down the tree over by the blueberries. So it's getting a ton more sun over there. And onions and blueberries love to play together in the sandbox too. In fact, blueberries and all berries are just one of the many types of foods that benefit in terms of taste from having onions grow near them. I can't wait to see my blueberries this year. New day, found my glasses. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. We're still planting the onion sets, but here's a breaky break. Let's look at my brassicas because they are amazing. We had such a good rain come through last night that I want to get these mulched and give them a neem oil spray. These are the tiara cabbages. They are stunning. They are gorgeous. They're already starting to curl in on the insides. We got some slugs doing what slugs do, which is to be expected. These are the broccolis. Broccoli. This has never happened before. I have never had broccolis that tall. And here are the Brussels sprouts. Just living their dream, man. They're just doing amazing. So let's get everybody mulched up, and then we'll give them a neem oil spray, and then we'll put the netting back on. And they should be good to chill. While you watch me mess with the brassicas, here's a little additional allium entertainment for you. Okay, ready? Okay, ready. What do you call an onion that won't hold water? A leek! Okay, wait. Hang on. Okay, one more. How do you propose to an onion? With an onion ring, of course. Okay, yeah, I'm just sitting here in my house laughing at onion jokes to myself. Yeah, okay, what of it? Okay, one more though. This really makes me giggle. Okay. What did the spring onions call their hip hop band? The little rapscallions. The little rapscallions. Get it? Because they're little and then scallions. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. Before I put that neem oil away, we're going to come out here and do a little spray of the cherry trees. Last year, the cherry trees had a rust disease, which prevented even one single cherry from actually ripening on the tree. So this year, we did the prune, and then I also did a copper fungicide spray. And so far, the leaves look healthy, they look glossy, but just a couple of leaves are starting to show some tiny rust spots. And I can take off the leaves that have the rust to certainly help, but I can only do that up to like a certain height, right? So we're going to give the cherry trees a neem oil spray because damn it, I want cherries this year. Onion fun facts. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the largest onion ever grown weighed 10 pounds, 14 ounces. I think like the size of your head is like 10 pounds, isn't it? That's a big stinking onion. That is enough of cherry trees and brassicas for now. Let's get back on the onion track because we still have way more sets to plant. Let's head over to the lilacs. As it turns out, onions are juglone tolerant, and juglone is a toxin that the black walnut tree produces. Now, over on the north side of my farm, where the lilacs are, I have a big old black walnut tree. And so since onions are juglone tolerant, that means they should grow just fine. We're going to plant them all on this side too. Okay, I just started like pulling weeds, and I'm over by the lilac bush, and you can see a bunch of cute little mushrooms. With the pine trees especially, this area is just always really popular for mushrooms. But look at the mycelium in the dirt. Look at that. Look at this. That is some good looking dirt, my friend. My goodness. Mycelium for the win. Tons of weed progress, at least on this side. There's Oliver sitting among the weeds. And then everywhere that I pulled a weed out, I stuck an onion. I did. Literally onions and marigolds are going to be everywhere. Every single where. After everything we have planted so far, these are all the onion sets that I have left. So we got a handful of yellows, we got a handful of reds, we got like a handful and a half of whites. I don't know, 50 sets in here. So let's see. We've done potato land, we've done the herb garden, we've done the blueberries, we've done the lilacs, we've done the melon patch. Let's head over and get some in near the grapes. So under here, I had a feeling this would happen, but I had black beans planted here last year. And so the bunnies ate them all because I didn't fence it off, and that's okay. But I had a feeling a lot of beans then would self-seed, and they certainly are. Now, onions and beans may not love each other the absolute most, but if the soil is fertile enough, they'll both be just fine. And honestly, I have so many onions now, at this point, it's all just experiment. Here's another one. Yellow onions make up 75% of the world's production of onions. Yellow onions are what everybody loves. I love red onions, but whatever, everybody gets to do their thing. And then one last cool thing. Remember that morel mushroom? Morel? Look at it. You guys told me I'd find more. And there's another one. That's about gone. The one I accidentally chopped down was just like right out there. So pretty close. Okay, where else can they go? Corn patch. Corn patch. Let's get some in the corn patch. Okay, one last one. In Blue Hill, Nebraska, no female wearing a hat that could scare a timid person can be seen eating onions in public. Corn patch. Old melon area. Lilacs. Potatoes. Herb garden. Blueberries. Grapes. Oh, I got a tick on my hand. Okay. We'll have to take care of that. Okay, anyway, they're in all the spaces. And this is what I got left. This tiny little bunchy bunch of yellow onion stars. I hope my onion harvest this fall is absolutely epic. I hope I have enough onions to onion me for the entire year. If I have one onion per day for a whole year, holy shit. That means I can make like a ton of onion powder. Like I could give some away. Who doesn't want onions? I don't know. Now I'm just talking. That's Allium Abundance. Man, that's it right there. I feel pretty freaking cool. Okay, so as always, subscribe if you haven't, because, you know, I'm kind of a hoot. Turn your little bell on, the little diddle-diddle on your subscription, because then you get notifications that I posted something, just in case. You can be a member too, if you want to be a member. We're kind of cool kids. You get an extra couple of posts a week, and we kind of chat, and you get custom emojis, and I respond to your comments first, and I don't know, it's just kind of cool. But you're still cool even if you don't. I love you anyway. Anyway, you're amazing. I hope your garden is growing great. You can totally do it. And I love you, and I'm going to talk to you real soon, okay? Bye!